Hey man, driving through on the highway, magic hour, so things are looking kind of nice. Um, I've just been listening to the Nas album, man. Literally just finished listening to this shit. Had it on my phone, and yeah, wackest Nas album. I mean, I could have told you this shit, man. I know this shit. This is the problem with Kanye West, man. Like, and you can see it with the corny ass rollout and this whole like, oh, we got Nas, so we gonna do this thing where like it won't really be out officially, but there'll be some videos, so it's like a listening session with people and people in the circle, like fuck out of here, man. Just drop the music, man. Let the music speak for itself. But you can't, right? That's the problem with Kanye. His music never really speaks for itself. It's marketing shit. So yeah, man, it was a weak ass album. I mean, Nas was sounding a little bit sleepy in certain parts, but he's been rapping for a long time, man. I've always said, for someone that's been rapping for that long, I gotta give it up to Nas, man. Like, Nas is really that dude. For a guy who's been doing it, I love that nigga, man. I think, to be honest with you, man, I've always said that Nas was like a great rapper, and especially as the years go by, I think he's probably my favorite rapper ever. There's something about the way just his voice alone is incredible. I think he's one of the best vocalists the rap game has ever seen. And then on top of that, he has some of the best writing the genre's ever seen. I mean, like, who has that shit? Like, that's such a rare gift. It's rare that you'll see a rapper that's not only amazing vocally, but amazing lyrically. Them two shits you don't see them in the same person. Perfect example, Snoop. Amazing vocally. Lyrically, he's cool. I mean, he's better than just about anyone rapping right now. Let's keep it 100. He's got better rhymes than any new nigga that's come out in the last maybe 10 to 15 years. But you're not going to say Snoop is up there with the bars. You know what I mean? But he's got better bars than a lot of you cats that you say got bars. Method Man. Again, great voice. One of the greatest voices in rap history. But you're not going to say that his bars are better than GZA's, for example. GZA's got a better bars, right? Like, it's rare that you'll see someone like a Nas who's just got it, the full package. I would even say Ghostface, to a certain degree, is kind of like that. But again, Ghostface is not quite as dope as Nas, but he's really, he's incredible. Actually, my second favorite rapper ever. So Nas is just that guy, man. And that's why whenever he has a new album, people check for it. Because, I mean, you're listening to arguably the best person to ever rap. And I think Nas in himself said some shit in an interview where he was like, he was trying to figure out a way, and this is way back before Illmatic came out, but he was trying to figure out a way for him to be bulletproof yet vulnerable at the same time as a rapper in terms of his like flow, and he nailed it. He fucking nailed it. I mean, that's what makes Nas incredible, because it's like listening to an everyday kind of cat, but at the same time, this everyday cat is like a superhero at the same time. And I say this because look at someone like a Rakim. Rakim never really had that everyman thing to him. Like, he was just a god. Like, he rapped like a Nordic god in a sense. Like, or I should say even an African god. Like a pharaoh. Like, he had that commanding presence, but you never really got a glimpse into his heart and to like, the softer side of him, if that makes sense. Like, it was just being a god 24/7 type thing. And that's cool, but in rap, it gets old in a weird way, even though I think rap should always have that element of, toughness to it, and that godlike attitude should always be there. But, Rakim doesn't really have a track like The Rise and Fall by Nas, or You Gotta Love It, or I'm trying to think of a record where Nas is a little bit more vulnerable, like a Bye Baby or some shit, right? Where it's like, damn, I can relate to this nigga. And I think Nas really figured that out. He was like one of the very first rappers to me, from what I've sort of been listening to and what I've researched, to really nail that duality of being godlike and being regular, while being like incredible at the same time. Not regular in a mediocre sense. You know, like these guys now who regular, and you're like, yeah, you regular because you're mediocre and you are just like the average person on the street. Why would I listen to you type shit? But regular in the sense of going through some of the same struggles that a regular human being goes through. You know, I like Nas a lot, man. So, anyways, to say that I'm disappointed in this album, of course, you know, like Nas to me will pretty much always bring his A game. I don't think he brought his A game on this album. You know, he brought his B game, you know, B minus game. He had a couple of funny lines. Actually, the line I thought was kind of funny, and I don't remember it because it's literally one time listen. But it was something where he was saying how like my exes is better than your besties or some shit like that. Like, so watch out, don't test this or something like that. I thought that was kind of funny. And then this line about how the girl's trying to basically, you know, jerk herself off before, you know, going on a date with him, and she gets slayed anyway. You know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of funny. But overall, I mean, he didn't really say anything that was like too mind blowing, but it wasn't whack. You know, there weren't really like, you know, whack lines or some shit. It was just kind of whatever. It was average. So, all in all, man, I mean, obviously Kanye's production let me down, but I expected that. I mean, that's Kanye. You know, he's not going to give you anything upper echelon, really. And, you know, this has always been a problem to me with Kanye. Like, again, I like some of Kanye's shit. I think Kanye's early producing work in the early 2000s was dope. You know, in some respects, some of his stuff was quite dope. So, you know, he's not whack necessarily in that producing side, but he's definitely become whack, and he's been whack for a very long time. The problem I've always had with Kanye and his music in general is that it's very surface level. You know, it really is. It's there's no nuance to this shit. There's very little atmosphere, and it's fake. You know, really, there's a certain fake and lack of energy thing with Kanye that I don't like. You know, like you listen to a record like Cops, right, on this album, and it's like cop shot kid, shot cops. Like it's very like, it's almost like, am I supposed to be in a fashion voguing to this bullshit? Like, you know what I mean? Whereas Primo will do a song with Jeru called Invasion, for example, that will be about cops harassing, but the beat sets up this atmosphere of like being chased, you know, through this fucking minefield of, you know, always being harassed, and it's like a maze or something like that. And Invasion gives you that vibe. It's like, it's got this sort of spiritual minefield maze-ish type of vibe to it, while having that pulsing energy of like someone out running or, you know, trying to get away from the cops. See, Primo will do shit like that, and that's what makes it classic. You know, Primo's a college graduate, man. He's not a dumb motherfucker. Like, you know, he can tell you things about a record without telling it to you. But in Kanye's world, Kanye has to literally tell you, this song is about cops, and this is what it is. Like, you know, it's so broad strokes and shit with his production, and that's why his shit is so whack to me, and it doesn't knock. I mean, of course, in the grand scheme of things, his stuff never really knocks, so that's another issue I have with it. Yeah, man, Kanye is just not my cup of tea, you know. It sucks to have someone like Nas, who is obviously a superior talent and who's an atmospheric rapper at the end of the day, who has made his best work with amazing producers, to work with someone who's like lower tier. And again, the only reason we're seeing this shit, we're even sitting and listening to this shit, is because of clout. You know, at the end of the day, that's all it's about, right? Mediocre producers just want clout. They just want to say, I did a record with Nas. It's like, so what, man? So what? Who gives a fuck? Like, your stuff is not going to be remembered. No one thinks it's among Nas's best material. And, you know, I find online, there's always this, like, small little contingent of people that want Nas to work with like Justice League or Alchemist, or insert some mediocre ass producer who they can these guys relate to because they're mediocre just like them, right? Like, don't get me wrong, again, Alchemist has some bangers, but why the fuck would I want a whole Nas and Alchemist album? Alchemist has never introduced a whole new artist to the game. He doesn't have like a signature sound that you'd be like, wow, like I really want to hear more of that. He just doesn't. So he's a B, C tier producer. I don't want C tier with Nas. Nas is an A tier rapper. I want A tier producers. I mean, he came into the game with A tier producers. Why the fuck would I want some C list shit? Right? And then don't even get me started on when I hear people talk about Rick Ross and Justice League stuff. Like, what? Rick Ross hasn't rapped on a dope ass beat to save his life. And I'm sure that will, sound weird to you, but the reality is no one gives a fuck about Rick Ross's production like that. That's why his music is gonna age like dog shit, and it already is aging like dog shit. All that, glitzy bullshit with no energy, nobody's listening to that, man. It's cute for a couple of people, but in real life, we're going back to the Primo, Pete Rock, Large Professor records when it comes to Nas, because that's really the stuff that's held up, right? Like, you're not listening to Justice League shit. Stuff's weak, man. And again, you should know the difference. When you listen to hip hop long enough, you know who's really doing this shit, man. You can't fool me. Like, that's always the thing with this genre, man. Who's always trying to like pretend like, oh, this person is, he's close, he's on that level. And then the thing that would kill me is that you would see online, like especially with some of these geeks, is that they'll clown Primo and say, oh, Primo hasn't made a hot beat in 10, 20 years. He's stale, right? They'll clown Primo, but then they'll big up someone like Kanye, who has never ever been on Primo's level and has like never even been close, and has been stale for who knows how long. But again, that's the thing, you can't relate to a Primo, because at the end of the day, a lot of these pretend hip hop fans, they don't really like that rugged shit. They want to be part of the culture, but at the end of the day, they can't really relate. And they'll clown the rugged shit anytime you get a chance, right? But they'll pretend to like it so that they can seem like they're down. And that's why you get a guy like Kanye who can make suburb shit, and like they'll show up and people will go, oh yeah, that's really good. Because at the end of the day, that's who it caters to, cats like that. The soft shit. I don't want to hear the soft shit. Nas is a hard ass rapper, man. Fuck, I want to hear some soft shit from him. So, all in all, weak shit. I thought beat wise, what was the best beat? Maybe Adam and Eve, but that wasn't even a good beat, man. The shit's too stiff. The drums are too stiff, and the kind of, I guess, Nina Simone sample, I'm guessing that's what that is. It sounds like some Nina Simone shit. It's alright. But again, you're not really gonna remember the shit, man. What I thought was kind of interesting is on my phone, I have, I had the Nas album, and as I'm listening to it, it's the 7-track shit, and it finishes, and then right then it goes into level 7, and I was like, finally, a fucking real song, If you haven't heard level 7, do yourself a favor and listen to that shit, man. That beat's better than anything Kanye has ever given Nas. And you can see it, or I should say you can hear it. The way Nas raps on level 7, him and Nashawn killed that shit. And that was done by, again, a random cat, Billy Hill. That's who I want. Like, if Nas is gonna work with random dudes, work with dudes like that, man, who've made your classics. Don't work with fucking Kanye West. Like, what's Kanye West gonna give you? Just a little bit of promo for a second, and then it's forgettable music, man. Anyway, those are my quick thoughts.